Well, students, today we are going to cover the aspects and the points that are released in Unit 9, page 62, and the title of the unit is Strange Stories. Strange Stories. So what we are expected to learn and to know more about in this unit is to use some time expressions like after, before, and when. So these tools, these linguistic tools, are used to what? To arrange the sequence of the events, يعني, and to نظم أحداث قصة معينة. So with the unit, or in the unit also, we are going to identify the main parts of a narrative, and we will talk about this in further details. But now I'm going just to refer to this point in a very rapid way. Main parts of a narrative. With the narrative we mean القصصية أو السردية, الكتابات أو الإنشاءات السردية أو القصصية. So what we have here, we have four major points. Number one is the background information. The background information through which we can introduce, let's say, the place and time of the story. Also, we have the next part, or the second part, is the beginning of the story. And with the beginning of the story, we need to mention the first event of that story, or the story that we want to talk or to write about. Also, there is another part, which is the third one, is about the middle of the story. And with the middle of the story, it contains the major or the main events. يعني الأحداث الأساسية الرئيسية تكون متضمنة في هذه النقطة، نقطة إنه middle of the story. And the last part, or let's say the fourth part, is the end of the story. And we keep in mind that the background information is the alternative of the topic sentence. يعني الجزء الأول يحتوي على topic sentence كأنه هو topic sentence. It is equal to the topic sentence, while the end of the story, which is the last part of stories generally, is the concluding sentence or sentences. What we need also to learn, to practice ordering the events. How to order the events? Of course, we order the events according to their occurrence. يعني ترتب الأحداث على وقوعها. من له الأسبقية في الوقوع، وهكذا يبدأ التصاعد escalation in narrating or giving more details about the story. And the last point is about an assignment, and I will appoint you to write another assignment, which is going to be the last assignment for this course. Now, before we go on these details, it is okay now to start reading the lines that are found in front of you under the title of a UFO sighting. UFO sighting. I wonder who is interested to start reading some of the lines, and then we can describe the importance of these lines in our class today. I may start now with Muhammad Rada, please. Line 1, 2, and 3.
A UFO sighting. I never believed in aliens before. One night last year. It was a cold, dark winter evening, and I was walking home from a friend's house.
That's okay. Thank you very much, Muhammad. Yes, Fatma Tahsin, please.
I stopped to tie my shoe. When I looked up again, I saw a round object coming toward me. It was very large and shiny. I couldn't believe that what I was seeing.
Thank you very much, Fatma. Thank you very much. Yes, Ali Hassanin, please.
Before I could shoot or run, the object suddenly moved and then disappeared. After the object disappeared, I ran all the way home and called my best friend.
Okay, thank you very much. That's enough. Okay, yes, Karrar. Read the rest of the lines, please.
Yes. When she picked up the phone, I couldn't say anything. I know she would think I was crazy. I never told anyone about my UFO sighting.
UFO sighting.
UFO sighting.
Sighting. That's okay. Thank you very much. Now, which sentence is the topic sentence here in this narrative? Which one? What do you think?
First sentence.
Is it first, second, third, or which one?
First sentence.
The first sentence. That's okay. Now, let's see the next or the follow-up exercises. We have exercise B. Who can do it, please? Fatma Mushtaq, yeah?
Yes, doctor. Letter B. How is this paragraph developed?
Yeah. Yes.
Number one, by telling a story.
So just give me the right option, the right choice, please.
Sorry?
Is your choice number one or what?
Yes, doctor. Number one, by
Yeah,
telling
it
a
is
story.
number one, by telling a story. So we have here what? A story narration about something strange happened to that or to those people included in the story. Okay, what about C? Now we go to C. I may go to Farah Asad, please.
Yes, doctor. What does sentence 2 do? The second number, it tells the reader when and where the event happened.
That's okay. And what about the last sentence, or line 11? Is it a concluding sentence? Do you agree with this or not?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, it's okay.
I
So it
agree.
is the last part. Yeah, sure. Thank you. It is the last part of the sentence, and it ends. I mean, the line 11 ends the story of the that Indians as the writer believed. Well, now let's move to the next page, page 63, please. Here we have a language focus, and here we have full description of the tools that we referred to earlier in the beginning of the class. It gives us, I mean, these lines give us some brief introduction and talks about the function of each of these time expressions. We have after, we have before, and we have when, and I'm going to read and explain what is found here. So when we use after, the first tool here we have the first conjunction, all that robot. It shows that there is the first event which comes right after. So after بعد استخدام الأداة after it is what followed by the first event. Since we have more than one event, so we keep in mind هذه الأدوات لا تربط جزء واحد أو حدث واحد وإنما at least two events. So here the first event, the first occurrence of the event يعني أول حدوث لحدث معين should be written right after. So here we have an example. I played football after school. So which one happened first? What do you think? Very quickly, please, give me your answers.
School.
So the school is the first happening or the first event, and playing football is the second one. And here, yeah, the second part, here we have after school, I played football, which means what? There is the possibility to use after in the middle of a sentence to join between two events, or it can also join two events, but now it starts the sentence. نلاحظ شيء مهم انه هنا we don't have only after. مو عندي فقط انا الاداة after وانما we have school which expresses an event, something happened, something we go to, or something we study in. So now what we have here, we have a prepositional, we have a phrase, sorry, and this phrase talks about maybe a place or time. يعني بعد عبارة اللي تتحدث عن المكان أو تتحدث عن الزمان مثل ما جاي نشوف هنا there should be what? A comma. There should be what? A comma. Is this clear, guys?
Yes, doctor, clear.
Okay. Are you with me, guys? Students, are you with me or you are somewhere else?
Doctor.
Yes, doctor.
So I can just see some 2 or 3 of you who can respond to my questions. And we have about 54 students in this class. Are you all with me, guys? This is my last call.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
Okay. Be engaged, please. Be engaged with me. Well, okay, let's go back to the explanation. Here we have what? So after the phrase of place or time, there must be what? A comma. When it starts a sentence. يعني لما تكون في بداية الجملة تتبع بفاصلة. But when it is in the middle or when it joins two events and after is not in the beginning of the sentence, there is no comma or commas at all. What about before? Before is just the opposite. When we use before, we keep in mind that the second event should be followed. يعني بعد before هي أو استخدام before هو عكس after. With after we start or we write the first event. With before we write the second event. I couldn't play the guitar before I took lessons. So lessons here what? Talk about the second happening or the second event. While couldn't play or the inability to play guitar is the first event. There is also the possibility to start the sentence with before, but here we need what? We need a phrase. Before I took lessons, I couldn't play the guitar for a particular reason. We don't know what. Now we come to the third one and last one as well, which is when. When shows that the first event happened just before the second event. يعني هذه هنا الأداة when تربط ما بين أيضا حدثين بمساعدتها we can recognize or figure out that we have a first event which is followed directly by a second event. خلينا نشوف. I told him the news when he called. أخبرته بما جرى عندما اتصل بي. So which one happened first? The call or the telling of the news?
The call.
The call happened first, and when he called, I told him about everything. Let's say the news. هنا عندنا أيضا إمكانية استخدام هذه العبارة في بداية الجملة على أن تكون متبوعة بفارزة. Conditionally, it is followed by a comma. We say when he called, and even though I forgot to tell you, now عندي أنا capitalization here we don't have to capitalize the initial letter of after. But since it begins or starts the sentence, it should be put or written in the or in capital letter. The same thing with before and similarly with when. So when he called, this is what the event number one. I told him the news. This is the second event. Now I expect you checked the cartoons here, and what we need to do is to fill the gaps, and we then need to comment which event happened or took place first. يعني لما تحلي هذه البي والسي وهكذا تقول لي أي حدث من الأحداث أي أداة راح تستخدمها للربط وأي حدث حدث أولا وأيهما حدث ثانيا أو لاحقا. Let's see كرار again.
Yes. I do B.
Yeah.
When we left the class, after we turned in our assignments.
Now, which one happened first? Which is number one?
First, number one.
The turning in or the submission of the assignment. نعم. تسليم الواجب حدث أولا. And
the
then
we left the class.
That's good. Okay. What about C? Yes, we have whom? We have Abdullah, please.
See?
Yep.
I woke up when the alarm clock rang.
Okay, so which event took place first? أيهما حدث أولا?
Woke up.
You woke up then, or the alarm clock?
I woke up. The alarm clock.
The alarm went first. أول ما اشتغل المنبه بعدين استيقظ هذا الشخص. Okay, so be careful, Abdullah. Okay, let's move to letter D. Here we have Abbas, please. Abbas Tahar.
Yes, doctor.
Go ahead.
I left my house before you called.
Okay, so which one took place?
The first event when he left the house.
Yes, leaving the house is the first event, while the second one is the call. Good. Okay, let's move to letter E. Here we have Fatma Mushtaq, please.
Yes, doctor. Please finish your homework before you watch TV. The first event is finish homework.
And the second one is watching the TV.
Second is you're watching the TV.
That's okay. Thank you very much. And the last one goes to whom? It may go to Kamil Kadhim.
Yes, doctor. F.
Please.
When the bread breaked, the baby.
When the dog barked.
Breaked. The baby, doctor. The first, the bread barked.
The barking of the dog is the first event, while the crying of the baby is the second one. Okay, now let's move to the next page. Please follow me. Okay, again here we have what? We have some amazing and strange story about a friend, or about two friends, who one of them was telling a story, and that story seems strange, and we will see and discover the details. But before that, I expect you check these cartoons, and then we come to read some of the lines. While we do, we fill the gaps that are here, and I may start now this time with Muhammad Rada, please. Go ahead with us.
نعم دكتور. Sleeping in a farmhouse. The strange experience in my life happened a year before I graduated from high school.
Okay. Go ahead, please. Continue.
I was 16 years old and my best friend Mark was 15. He invited me to visit him during the summer. I was staying with
That's
him.
okay. Thank you, Muhammad. Thank you very much. That's great. Okay. Yes, we have Ghufran, please.
I was staying with him in his farmhouse in the middle of the countryside. I shared a room with Mark, and our beds were separated
Separated.
by a table every morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mom.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, Kamaluddin, please.
Every morning, Mark's mom brought use a cup,
Brought
us a cup of hot tea in bed. After we woke up, while we were sleeping on night, I called, feel my bed moving.
That's enough. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's okay. Yes, Fatma Hussein.
Yes, I thought I was dreaming. The next morning, Mark's mother brought us hot tea as usual. When she turned on we saw that our beds were pushed together and the table had moved. Mark
That's enough.
sighed.
That's enough. Okay. Thank you very much. Muhammad Baqir Yasin.
So Mark said he didn't do it, and I didn't do it. We still don't know how the beds move. What do you think?
Okay, so we will discuss what do we think about this event. Now, if we go back here to the beginning of the paragraph, we have the strangest experience in my life happened a year before I graduated from school. Now, which happened first? Which event happened first? The finishing of the school or the strange experience?
Can I, Doctor?
Yalla, please, go ahead, Mr. Abbas.
When the graduation,
The
first event.
The graduation is the first. I read it again. The strangest experience in my life happened a year before I finished school. Yani this event happened a year before he graduated or finished school. So which one now came first? The experience or the graduation?
The experience, Doctor.
The experience happened as you see here a year before. سنة قبل أن أنهي أو أتخرج من مدرستي. Okay, so this is for the first time we need to discover what is the difference exactly between before and after. We read it a lot. Of course, we experience all these conjunctions, but we may not figure out in the beginning which event comes right after, before, or after. So now we have another sentence. I guess it is maybe number B or letter B here. Okay, what do we have here? We have every morning, follow me please. Every morning, Mark's mom brought us a cup of hot tea in bed after we woke up. Now, which is the first event?
The first event,
Doctor, wake up event.
woke up.
Waking up, يعني الاستيقاظ وثم
The second cup of tea.
Yes, so this is okay. This is okay. Now, I'm going to read again some of the explanations about the narrative paragraphs. Follow me, please, here. What is a narrative in general? So when we narrate something, it means we tell stories. So narratives is what is about to tell or telling stories. Everyone طبعا هذه في شيء لا نستغرب له أكيد يعني has read narratives, watched them on television or at the cinema or heard them from other people. كل من واحد من عندنا عنده قصة ومصدر القصة قد يكون قصة مقروءة أو مسموعة من شخص أو مشاهدة في تلفزيون أو ما شابه. A narrative paragraph tells a short story. هذا هنا الواجب مال narrative paragraph. And next time, maybe in the exams, you might be asked a similar question. Write a narrative paragraph. So when we are asked to write a narrative paragraph, we keep in mind we are going to tell a story or maybe we describe an event. يعني يمكن أنه أنت تعطي قصة تروي قصة أو أن تروي أحداث قصة لكن هذه القصة لم تحدث لك أنت شخصيا. Maybe it happened to somebody else. So what we have here in the paragraph, sleeping in a farmhouse, is a narrative about two boys. This is the summary of the story. This is the summary of the story, which is put in 2 lines or maybe less. 2 boys on holiday. In the story, their beds move, يعني سريرهما move in the middle of the night. تحركت هذه الأسرة. And they don't know how it happened. ولا يعلمون كيف حدث ذلك. Now, I may ask you this question, or the question which is raised at the end of the paragraph. What do you think? Now, guess, خمن, احذر, what happened? ايش تعتقد انه السبب الا انه the beds were pushed together to be close to each other. يلا اسمع من عندكم توقعاتكم او تنبؤاتكم حول هذه القصة. Please, I'm listening and looking for your hands to be raised. يلا إذا عند أحد تخمين لهذه القصة. I may start with فاطمة مشتاق. يلا فاطمة.
Yes, doctor. Maybe there is some genes in the house.
Somewhat aliens.
Genes. Genie.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's maybe expression.
Maybe. Let's see. Thank you very much.
Or someone walking when he sleeps.
One of them was walking while he was sleeping. You mean?
Yeah.
Maybe.
And do not
yes.
know what did he do.
Yeah, and in the morning when the body got up or woke up, that person didn't know what happened and what he did or she did exactly.
Yes.
Maybe yes. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes. Another one please.
Can I?
يلا ماكو كان عيني انت فرح رفعي ليش خلي اشوفها. يلا.
Okay. Maybe one of them feel afraid in the night and so pushed his bed. Doctor?
Yes, why not? So it's all an open area for guessing. So we may expect this one because the writer asks us, what happened? What do you think? What happened to the beds? How the bed came or pushed together? So, okay, Farah, thank you very much. Any more else? Anybody else, please? Any more ideas? No more ideas. Well, okay. هسه نجي نقسم هذا الباراجراف إلى الأقسام اللي according to the parts that must be included in a narrative paragraph. The background information, as I said in the beginning of the class, we have 4 major types and divisions that should be included in a narrative paragraph. Or later you will learn to write a narrative essay, but not in this year, maybe the coming 2 years. The background information, as I said before, it is equal to the topic sentence. يعني, and it can be an alternative to the topic sentence. بديل عن the topic sentence. But there must be what? There must be a mention, there must be a reference to what? To when and where. When and where. When we say when and where, نعني هنا بالزمان والمكان. بالزمان والمكان. A narrative paragraph usually starts with background information to set the scene. أعتقد you study this in literature for the story and provide the context. Context معناها السياق، تهيئة للقصة، لأحداث القصة. What is important in the background information is the يعني باكر عقبه لما أسأل إنه أكتب narrative paragraph, I put in mind these 4 categories that must be included in the paragraph in the assignment. وعندي بداية background information وتحتوي على ماذا؟ the when and where. It means the time and the place and الزمان والمكان. The second part, we have the beginning of the story. With the beginning of the story, we keep in mind to tell the first event. The beginning of a narrative usually tells what happened first in the story. So the first event should be what? Should be put in the beginning of the story. The middle of the story, which is very rich of information, هذا يكون غني بالمعلومات. It includes what? The main part or maybe parts and tells most of the events. أغلب أو أكثر الأحداث اللي حدثت في قصة معينة. It should be included under the umbrella of middle of the story اللي هي منتصف القصة. And of course here as you see we have an example extracted واستقطع هذا المثال من الباراجراف اللي قريناه قبل قليل. The end of the story is the end of the story. It's the concluding sentence. It's an alternative to the concluding sentence. And here we have what? We have to end the story. Each story has got an end and it tells the final event. This is it, the final event. Now, let's move to the next page, page 66. Please follow me. Again, here we have what? A cartoon. And remember, you might be asked once to write about a cartoon. You might be given pictures like these, and you try to be engaged with the story that you may guess and you may infer. كيف أنك تستقطب بعض الأحداث أو تستقرأ بعض الأحداث من خلال الصور. وأعتقد أنا هذا الموضوع شددت عليه أكثر من مرة. Well, again, here we have what? We have to rearrange the events. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 sentences. These can form a paragraph. But what we need is to rearrange them. And we say, for example, A, for example, is a background information because it is given in the example below. Okay, now who wants to start, please? Yes, فاطمة الزهراء صالح, تفضلي. Which letter you think is the background?
A few days later, my father, my able to go
لا أنا ما أريد تقري لي فاطمة، أريد تقولي لي A, B, C, D, E. Which one should be the background information? And we give it
number 4.
هسه أنا ما أريد تعطيني رقم واحد. وين رقم واحد؟ عيني رقم واحد وين؟ Number 1 should go to which letter? A, B, C, D, or E?
B, number 1.
هسه تمام. Read it and give me which part is it?
Strange things happened to my father when he was in the hospital to have an operation.
Okay, now what kind of category? What is this? Is it a background? Is it the beginning, a middle?
Background information.
That's okay. Thank you very much. Now we come to who we have here. Yes, Muhammad Jihad.
E.
Yes.
Number 2.
Read it, please. It is the beginning of the story, right?
Yeah.
Read it.
After every time my father woke up, showing a room with another man. The other man's
but was next to the window.
Window. That's okay. So it is the beginning of the story. We have yes, Fatma Tahsin.
Yes, number 3, D.
Okay, read it. What part is it?
Read it or tell you what is
the beginning,
middle of the
yeah.
story. Yes.
Good. Okay. Read.
My father didn't feel well. He asked the other man to describe the view outside the window because he wanted to feel better. After the man talked about the beautiful view from the window, my father was able to fall asleep. Before my father woke up, the man left the hospital.
That's okay. Thank you. This is nice reading. Okay. Now, do we have another sentence with the middle of the story, or that's it? Let's see, Muhammad Baqir.
نعم أستاذ. This one is 2, beginning of the story. After
Which
his
one?
operation, my father woke up sharing a room with
La, la,
another
la,
man.
la. Muhammad, this is done. This is done.
Which one do
Number
you
1, 2, and 3 were done. All these were done.
Okay, so A.
Number 4. A, yeah. What is it? Which part does this sentence belong to?
Middle of the story, 4.
Middle of the story also. So as I said in the beginning, middle of the story carries what? Carries the main event. And we may have more than one event in the middle of the story. Go ahead, Muhammad.
A few days later, my father was able to go to the window to look for himself, but all he could see was an ugly brick wall.
That's okay. Thank you very much. And the last one, we may go now to Ghufran.
5. See, 5. End of the story. The next day, he asked the nurse why the man described a beautiful park. The nurse looked confessed and told my father that man was blind.
Blind. كان أعمى. كان هذا الشخص اللي مع يشارك الغرفة ويا الأب هو كان ذو احتياجات خاصة ولا يستطيع الرؤية. That's okay. So now up to now we have again the 4 parts, and each part is represented by an example, or maybe more than one example to illustrate or to clarify actually what is the meaning of the background, the middle, or the beginning, the middle, and the end. Here we have another another practice. We have two short stories. As you see, 2 short stories. Here we have part A. Is what? A fright in the forest. Again, here we need what? To do the same thing we did on page 66. Okay. Farah, please.
Yes, doctor. B is number 1. Background information.
Right.
I grow up in a small town in the countryside. Near my house was a large.
شنو معناته countryside فرح؟
الريف.
Yes, good. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Near my house was a large forest, and my parents told me not to play there.
Good. Thank you very much. Yes, we have Ali Hassanin. Which letter is number 2, Ali Hassanin?
Number 2, point D.
Okay, letter
From
B.
the beginning of the story.
Okay, go read it, please.
Okay. One day I was playing in the forest with some of my school friends.
That's correct. Okay, thank you. We go to Abdullah Ali Abdul Karim.
Yes, doctor. A. Suddenly, I felt very cold and scared.
هذا شنو? Which part does this sentence represent? It is a middle. Okay, middle. Good. And the last one, thank you. Last one, Fat Mahmoud.
Yes.
Yeah.
One with the package information I have been studying.
Fatma.
Yes.
Still we are in the first part.
Yes.
Still we are in the first part. Okay. So now which letter you choose?
Yes.
Which is the end of
what?
the بقى عندنا بعد اختيار واحد بالجزء الأول اللي هو end of the story. Which part you choose? What do you think?
Let's see.
Go, please read it.
From the end of the story, after that day, I never went back to the forest.
That's correct. Okay, now let's move to the second part. Here we have also, we need to do the same, but maybe the title of the story or the events of the story, of course, are different. A strange day, in class. Also, we need to reorder these sentences to form a paragraph. Yes, we have Muhammad Jihad.
Yes, doctor.
Which letter you choose first to be the background information, Muhammad? Are you still connected, Muhammad, or it is what?
Number 8. Number 1. Beginning
Okay.
information.
Go ahead, read it. It is a background information. Read it, please.
Yes. I have been studying English for few years, and I really enjoy the class.
That's fine. Okay, yes, Ali Hassanin, thank you. Yes, Ali?
Yes, Mister.
Number
2, point
yes.
C.
Letter C again. Read it.
Yes.
This
From
is what?
the beginning of the story.
This is the middle.
One day, something usual happened in the class.
Ali, you choose.
Yes, Mister.
You choose letter C, right?
Yes.
To be the second sentence. And now you think, is it the end or the middle of the story?
No, from the beginning of the story.
Yes, good. Okay, read it.
Yes. One day, something usual happened in the class.
Okay, thank you very much. Which one is number 3? Yes, Abdul Hassan Saleh.
Yes, doctor. The teacher was explaining.
Which letter, please, Abdul Hassan?
The D.
Letter D, okay. And it is the middle of the story. Okay, read it.
Yeah. The teacher was explaining grammar when I saw something strange out the window.
Out of the window, thank you very much. And the last part goes to maybe Fatma Samir.
Yes, doctor. I heard everyone as I woke up and realized it was a dream.
Okay, so
Number B.
This is letter B, right, to be the last sentence in the paragraph. They both are very short paragraphs, but what we need is to know the technique of rearranging or ordering the events of a story. Now, for the last point in this unit, which is supposed to be the last unit for this course, maybe, I don't know, I can't decide now. Now, next assignment will be to write about one of these 3 themes. هذه هنا عندي ثيمات 3. Coincidence, صدفة. طبعا, you are recommended to choose a title, and then you become to what? To structure your own paragraph. This is one. Maybe you want to write about a strange experience that happened to you or one of the families or one of people you know, or to write a funny story. So again, next assignment, and the due date is going to be on Friday. يعني الواجب القادم راح يكون أن نكتب عن واحدة من هذه المواضيع الثلاثة، ونهاية التسليم هو نهاية يوم الجمعة. نهاية الجمعة الأسبوع هذا مالتنا، يعني بعد عندنا لا زال الوقت مفتوح. Now we are not going to include this title. This is not a title. These are just topics. هذا مجرد أفكار عامة. تحكينا عن coincidence، تنطيني عنوان, and then you come to structure your narrative paragraph. What should be written in the narrative. من نكتب narrative paragraph, we have to keep in mind 2 important points. Number 1 is to include the time expression phrases on time phrases. We have to include again the conjunctions, أدوات الربط, and the time phrases. When we talk about these, we need to keep in mind to use after, before, and when. هذا الأمر الأول. الأمر الثاني, you have to, or we have to divide the paragraph into the following assumptions or the following categories. Sorry. شنو هي هاي التصنيفات اللي نكتب عنها؟ أولاً, we start with the background information. Next step is to start with the beginning of the story, then the middle of the story. In the middle of the story, you may write more than one event, maybe 2 or 3, because it carries actually the weight. يعني حجم القصة أو وزن القصة يكون في داخل الميدل, and then you end it with a concluding paragraph. يعني نهاية القصة, ولا يشترط أن يكون زمن في الماضي, ممكن انه تتطلع الى المستقبل, الى الحاضر, وهكذا. يعني بس القصه كاحداث يجب ان تكتب في الماضي كونها حدثت وانتهت. Before we write, when we choose which one we should write about, we put in mind how to brainstorm. With the brainstorming, maybe you write a list of ideas. يعني ممكن نسوي قائمه الافكار or word mapping او free writing او discussion. واحنا هنا حقيقه الآن ما عندنا مجال لأنه هنا نسوي المناقشة, لكن ممكن أنتم عن طريق the group that you initiated before ممكن أنه تناقشون هذا الموضوع بالجروب مالتكم الخاص, and then you may get more and more ideas. I think this is the end of the class for today. If you have any questions or you think something still not clear to you, you may raise your hand and I will answer your questions. If you have any question, please, you feel something is not quite clear to you, you may ask me to answer you. أكو عندكم أي سؤال, شيء مو واضح شباب؟ طلاب سمعوني؟
نعم دكتور.
طيب أكو عندكم ماكو أي سؤال, أي استفسار؟ فاطمة, you have a question?
No, doctor. All clear.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Okay.
Welcome.
So I think this is the end of our class for today. Thank you and thanks for your participation.